I've had a husband ask me advice for what to do if your wife has become, in his words, crazy from listening to Candace Owens. And I know you cover Candace quite a bit, and I
Hmm.
think you are one of the best. You have one of the best channels out
Okay.
there for taking apart her madness and also taking it apart with a smile, with joy, and with laughter.
Oh,
And
wow. Thank you.
so you do it with facts, but with humor, and I love that you've got both. But since you cover her quite a bit, and me get trying to give advice on that's a little different because I'm not a husband. I'm not a father. I'm not a man. So what would your advice be for someone like that?
I would ask that guy, what would you do if your wife was taking in, and you know what? If you knew that your wife was being wooed by another man, what would you do? There's some things he would do. He put his foot down. He take your phone away. Go see counseling. Go to the pastor. You're not gonna unless you're just gonna let her. Unless you're gonna be a simp and just get ran over. But what are you gonna do if you find out your wife is being wooed by another man? And every day, this man, every day on clockwork, 5 o'clock every day, this man reaches out to her and sends her an hour-long message, and she sits there and eats it up like a fat kid eats cake. What would you do? I'm pretty sure you would do something about that, unless you're going like my guy over here and let your wife beat you up. Otherwise, if you're not one of those guys that let your wife beat you up, you're gonna do something. You're gonna fight for your bride. You're gonna do stuff like that. Then do that. Treat it just like that. Candace Owens is trying to woo your wife into sin and divisiveness. She's trying to lead your wife away from the cross. Treat her just like that. That's
I
it.
I so thank you for that answer. I love that answer. It treats it with seriousness. And you're right. If your wife were engaged in infidelity or like you said, having some kind of emotional affair with someone online, like you would set up rules and boundaries, like the two of you, if you wanted to save your marriage, rules and boundaries over devices and who she's talking to, who she's listening to. And it makes me think of not just Candace, but some of these influencers or podcasters who are potentially influencing your children or your
Mhm.
spouse. Some of them are like in Second Timothy, where it talks about the people who creep into households and lure gullible women away,
Can we
and
can we
off the
stop for a
path.
second? Do you think Paul knew that in the 22nd century, we would have a device, a little slice of glass that literally they can creep into your house in? They don't got to break into your house. They don't got to do breaking and entering. We literally invite them by pressing a button, and,
Yeah,
they are in our house or face recognition. Mine is opened up while I was looking at my face, but like literally they creep in.
yeah,
I don't know, man. That's probably one of the most like whoa aspects of the scriptures. Like it wasn't just creeping in through the window or creeping in through the pet door. Like no, we literally invite them in on a
yeah,
regular basis. That's crazy work.
yeah. Anyone can get access to you through that, like creep into your house through that.
Hmm.
So, um, along those lines, okay, since we're talking about shepherding, being the shepherd of your home for men, for husbands, for fathers, what advice do you have for men about raising children? We're in the middle of a situation here in I'm located near Salado, Texas, which anybody in Texas knows it's a small town. It's a beautiful little town. It is not too far from Austin though, and from Georgetown, and it's starting to change slightly. And we're in the middle of a library war here, where the public library has some sexually inappropriate books on shelves. In the children and teens section.
Hmm.
And so there are two different factions of people battling about it. Those who say, hey, don't put age inappropriate books on the kids and teen shelves, and those who think that that somehow violates their rights or something, like to not
Right.
put those on the kids and teen shelves. So we're in the middle of that right now. And in the context of that war, I have interacted with some mothers who have said to me in seriousness, that the internet exists and that they can guarantee that kids know how to use the internet and get access to anything they want. And
Hmm.
basically that any efforts to shield your children at all from adult or inappropriate material is ridiculous in this day and age. What do you think about that as a parent?
Well, I mean, to a degree, they are correct, and to a degree, they prove that the scriptures are true. That I mean, If you go look at Proverbs, when Solomon or the writer of Proverbs is speaking to the foolish son, and he's like talking about how the wicked woman will try to woo them in. Just literally, he's just walking down the street minding his own business, but he's not being aware of where he is, and he walks by her house. So we still have to, even though, yeah, to a degree, you're right. We can't keep them. It's kind of like pollen here in Georgia right now. It literally looks like snow outside. It looks like snow is falling right now. That's how bad the pollen is. That's kind of like it is. You're not going to defeat it. And pollen, and it's not going to rain for like 2 weeks. So my voice is going to get worse and worse every day. But it's everywhere. But that doesn't mean we don't wash our cars. That don't mean I don't wipe my windows. That don't mean I don't park my car in the garage, because you know what? I'm going to do my very best to limit the exposure to pollen, to limit the exposure. Yeah, they probably will be infected, but you know what you're not going to do? You're not going to say that I didn't make every effort to get to make sure. Why would you want to and this is the thing I think parents need to ask adults, like, why would you want to expose little people to such a practice as this? We see how it has ruined our society today for the adults.
Yeah.
You can't show me one aspect of society that is better because we allow libertine behavior between adults, consenting adults. Why would you want to expose children to that? Let me make sure I understand it. I'm taking notes. Like, what the heck is wrong with you? Mm-hmm. So we need to be willing to push back and say, I don't really care if you say that I'm some kind of prude, or I'm not up with the times. Okay, fine. I will be perfectly fine being a prude, being not up with the times, and having children and not being a granddad at 52. Mm-hmm. Okay. You, grandma, at 45, you go do you. That seemed to work out really well for you. Keep doing you. But why would you want to expose children to that? What is wrong with you that you would want to expose children to that type of behavior? Because that's the question.
Yeah, that's the way I think about it too, is it's just sort of this throwing up of the hands and saying, let children raise themselves or something. Right. Because of the internet. There have always been, Texas Sheep Lady has a great comment in the chat about poisons. Like you try to lock poisons away from toddlers, right? Like, why would you say, oh, let them figure it out?
No, so we're aware that there are certain things that, okay, we don't expose our children to it. Like, I don't understand. But see, this is the problem with our society. Like, we've become like God, thinking that we can discern between good and evil. That doggone Genesis 3 keeps playing out every day. Like, we know what's better. Oh, it's better to expose kids to this. Really? I know you liked that episode. This is actually a clip from a larger live stream. The link is down in the description, so you can go check it out. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you down there. Grace and peace.